What's up, everyone, and welcome to another daily hot take on Bitcoin. We're starting off here on the monthly time frame. Yesterday, we talked about how the monthly time frame had this long upper wick, but we closed above the previous day, or I'm sorry, the previous month's high. And so it doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to have to come down significantly from here. But let's go down the weekly time frame and get a little bit more clarity on that. So we see on the weekly time frame last week we had this long bearish candle here that closed below the low of the previous week, which is pretty bearish. This is going to be the level that I'm looking to target if we end up getting a push down. You can see it's confluent with the Ichimoku cloud on the weekly time frame, and it's a pretty good risk reward if we're to end up pushing up to a new all-time high. It'll be about a 2.75, but if we go higher than that, obviously that increases as we go up. On the daily time frame, yesterday we had a very bullish candle coming off of the bounce from the daily Kijun here. This blue block is our level that is kind of propping up price right now besides the daily Kijun here. And we're seeing that right now we're starting to trade down from a resistance level that this is, before we go down to the lower time frames, this is the level that we're currently looking at here for the resistance for the bulls, and this is kind of the liquidity zone that I drew with an X here, which means that if the price comes up into this level and wicks into this level, which is at 52,178 on this exchange, but then closes below that, that could end up pushing us down into this light blue zone down here. But if we go down to the lower term time frames here, on the 12-hour, we had a bullish close on the previous 12-hour candle right here that gave us, actually made this down here a support level. I don't particularly like this support level just because we didn't change the trend, but it is valid. This is a support level for price now, just because we had our low, high, low, but we didn't close below this low, so it wasn't confirmed bearish trend. And then we pushed above and closed both of these candles above this previous high here. Now, if we look at the 8-hour time frame, we can see that we came into this yellow zone here and went really, if we were to even shorten this up to right here, we came into that zone perfectly, which is that candle before that push down there. So if you were to enter the trade there and go short, you could have made over 5.5% so far. I did not take that trade personally, but that was a valid trade. Something I was watching for when we had this rise in price, this pretty rapid rise in price, was to see if we were going to close below these highs, to see if this was what we would call a liquidity run. So a liquidity run is where we're running up in price to try and grab stop losses above a key high before we go down and trade back below once again. And so right now we're currently trading, back below this high, but we closed both of these two candles above this high, as well as on the 12-hour we did that as well with both of these candles above the high. So that was, in terms of the bull case, that's pretty good. If we go down to the 6-hour, this is not very good for the bulls in the case of the 6-hour time frame here, and that's because we have our low, high, higher low, but then we have our lower high. So we have high, low, lower high in comparison to this one, and then lower low. So this 6-hour candle, to invalidate this as a bearish trend on the 6-hour time frame, where I would then look to short this candle right here on a retest, we'll need this 6-hour candle to close above this level right here. That is the level that we're going to need the bulls on this exchange, at least, to close back above, which is possible. We have 4.5 hours to do so, so we have time. We're trading, a little bit below it now, but we do have time in case the bulls want to show up and push above that level. Right now we're bouncing off of this 4-hour level here that is valid. So you can see that we had this consolidation range here. This is something I talked about before, and then we had our push down. And so when the price went into this level, this should have held as resistance, this gray zone, but it didn't. And so what that tells us then is now we have a support level there. And so you can see the price is reacting to this level right now, and it's trying to bounce off of it. We have 28 minutes left in this candle. For this to be more convincing that we're going to bounce off this level, we'd want to see the price close a little bit higher up. So then, it's showing that it's bouncing off this level. You can see that the price is reacting to it as we've traded into it, and now we're operating above it. But it's going to all be dependent on, that, like I said, that 6 hour. This is really what I'm going to be looking for, is this 6 hour trade. If this ends up being valid, that will be a bear signal to probably push down to this, at least this 12-hour block here, which is down at roughly 46,000. So that would take us about, from that level, if we were to short, from kind of in the middle of there down to that level, that'd be about a 5% trade, which is pretty good. But that's going to be something that I'm going to be watching for, just because, there's a lot of chop right now on Bitcoin. There's not really an established trend here. We're just kind of like, we traded down, but then we closed, back above on like the 12-hour time frame. So there wasn't really a bearish trend established. And now, we're coming back, on the 4-hour time frame. We have this push above that broke these highs. But then, we had our high, low, higher high. So we had a low, high, higher low, higher high, but we didn't close above this high right here with this black candle. So that's not an established bull trend. And then we formed a higher low in comparison to this one, but then a lower high and then a lower low. So this is actually going to be a bear trend if we don't end up closing the next 4-hour candle above the previous low here, which is, like I said, at right around 48,308. So the bulls are going to have to show up here for the daily close. And if they do not, then that will be an established resistance level, and I will personally be looking to short that level. So those are the main levels to watch on Bitcoin here on the daily time frame. Just to recap, we're looking at this resistance level here, which is right up at around 51,000, and this liquidity zone right here from the 25th, which is at 52,178 on this exchange. On the 12-hour time frame, we have our support level down here that starts at about 46,000, which we're currently moving towards, but we haven't touched yet. And then on the lower term time frames, on the 8-hour time frame, the resistance level that we are currently running into is in fact this entire level, but I drew it a little bit smaller just so it was easier to kind of see the main body of the candle zone, which is the strongest zone. But right now you can see that we're trading below that and we're reacting off that. So if we push into it again, it'll be weaker the second time. We might be able to push through it. So that's something to watch. But if we go down to the 4-hour time frame, 4-hour level here, we're reacting off of it pretty nicely here. And this will be something that we will continue to monitor over the next 4.5 hours, because we'll need to close above this green line here, which is at 48,308 on this exchange. All right, I will see you guys in the next video. Hope you guys have a great day, and if you like this video, give it a like, subscribe for future updates, and I will see you guys tomorrow.